How do I get my child to stop guessing words when he reads? Hello parents, I'm Rebecca with the Parent Teacher Bridge, and today I am sharing with you how I get children to stop guessing words when they read. Have you ever read with your child and noticed a habit of randomly guessing words? In the comments below, tell a little bit about your experience with that. Before we get started, make sure to click the link in the description below to get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. As a teacher and a private tutor, I have helped many children learn to be better readers. Often, when children are reading at the 1st or 2nd grade level, they can be prone to guessing words, maybe by just looking at the first letter. This is normal behavior at first, but we don't want children to continue doing it without really trying to tackle the word by looking at all of its sounds. There are several small tips that I've tried to help children get out of this habit, and I hope they will help you too. Number 1, be sure the child recognizes that the guessed word is incorrect. If the guessed word does not make sense with the context of the sentence or the picture on the page, we want the child to notice. Repeat the sentence or phrase just as the child read it while pointing to each word or the picture so that the child sees the mistake. They may notice that it doesn't match the picture. They may notice that it doesn't make sense in context. So here's an example. The child reads, "The cubs see a sing, pups for sale." But the text is, "The cubs see a sign, pups for sale." The most simple intervention that I try is I tapped my pencil or finger on the actual word they misread, and I wait silently for them to notice and correct the mistake. If that doesn't work, I read back to the child, "The cubs see a sing?" What do the cubs see? Look at the picture, a sign. Listen for the sounds in sign. S, I, n. Do you see an N at the end of the word? Do you see an I somewhere in the middle of the word? Yes, it makes sense to say that the word is sign. Now this word is spelled a little differently since it has that G that is not making a sound, but it does have the letters that you hear when you say the word, and it makes sense with the story and the picture. Finally, you can also help them notice that the sounds at the end or middle of the word do not match the sounds in what they said. Now, some would argue that children shouldn't look at the picture for help at all, but the picture gives context for young children. I would say to be sure that you point out the word itself, even if you have to write it on a Post-it note and show them. In my experience, I've had success in using the context of the picture and the letters themselves working together, not one or the other. Now with the example above, you would point at the word sign and say, "Does that look like the word sing?" I could see where that might be a little confusing. Listen to sing. Do you hear the G at the end of the word? Is there a G at the end of this word? Now, this is a process, so don't expect overnight success. The strategy that I modeled will need to be used over and over as your child navigates various books. And as an added precaution, you might choose to have your child screen for dyslexia or check their eyesight. Number 2, tap out the first 3 to 5 letters of the word and blend the sounds together. You will need to model this behavior and show your child how it is done if they are not used to tapping out sounds. I find that if the child can do this with the first 3 to 5 letters, it gets them through the first syllable of the word, which is very helpful in chunking the remaining letters of the word into syllables. For many children, tapping the first few sounds and paying attention to the context will help solve this problem. Just be sure that when they believe they have said the correct word, that it does sound like what it looks like. Ending sounds included. An example here would be this text. She scribbled her name on the paper. The child guesses by saying, she scratched her name on the paper. Besides the fact that we don't scratch our names on paper, you can point the child out to tap the first 3 to 5 letters. S, k, I, b. If you notice, we tapped 5 letters here, going just past the first vowel. You can generally get past the first vowel sound and maybe one more letter, and it will help tremendously. Now have your child go back and read the sentence, thinking about what is happening in the story, looking at the letters. She scribbled her name on her paper. Number 3, show your child that the word can be broken into smaller parts. Instead of rushing when they see a longer word, encourage them to slow down and look for any chunks in the word that they may recognize. Suffixes like ing or ed, even s and es are very common suffixes that they can learn to identify so that they can focus on the base word at the front of the word. For a list of common suffixes, click the link in the description below. Now, as children begin reading more at the 2nd grade level, they will encounter words that have ending chunks. Your child might read scribbles instead of scribbled. This is where I usually talk to the child about following through on the whole word. And I make an analogy to throwing a ball and how you need to follow through to get the ball to where you want it. We practice circling the suffix first and then underlining the base word. If you tackle this strategy, you will notice a difference within a month, sometimes a week if you're really consistent. Number 4, keep score on the behavior of guessing. As you discuss with your child what guessing is and why they shouldn't do it, keep track of how many times your child guesses without trying to sound the word out. Bad points. And how many times your child actually tries their best to sound the word out. Those would be good points. You are looking to see if they are trying the strategies I've shown you. In the description below, I have included a link to my website resources page where you will find a guessing scorecard to help you keep track of how many times your child is guessing versus how many times they are attempting to sound out the word. Reward the correct way of trying, even if the word isn't correct. After all, it is the behavior of random guessing that we are trying to eliminate. You may still correct them, but tell them you are proud that they tried. If you can actually get your child in the habit of slowing down and trying to sound out the word, you will see an improvement in getting the words correct most of the time. As stated before, it can take time to fix reading behaviors and improve reading level. It takes practice, usually daily practice. Brag on your child for the small improvements that you see along the way. I highly suggest that you take some video clips of your child reading so that you can show your child just how much they've grown in their reading ability in just a month or 2. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, comment below which idea you liked best. Don't forget to click the link in the description below to get my free ebook, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. Subscribe to my channel by hitting the button below. You can also find the Parent Teacher Bridge on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to check out the website, theparentteacherbridge.com, for more help with your child's learning. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.